And welcome to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where EA Diddle Arena sits on the campus of Western Kentucky University, the site for tonight's Conference USA matchup between the Hilltoppers of WKU and the FIU Panthers. I'm Tyler Eaton, joined by longtime NBA coach, exec Dean Cooper, inside Diddle. And Dean, this is a game for WKU, a lot on the line in terms of conference tournament seeding. And for FIU on the other side, you may be wondering, well, what's at stake? A chance to sweep the Hilltoppers this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 7-8, both teams kind of on the struggle bus a little bit recently. But look, these guys they're college basketball players. They're going to compete through every game, 31 games, they're going to compete. So they all got something to play for. Some of it's just pride, and some of it is for seeding. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
FIU just 3 wins in conference play so far this season, but they've got some standout players that kind of make it hard to believe that, including the lone center that is listed on this roster.
Yes, he is the lone center. He obviously probably will have an impact on this game because that's a place, you know, with everything that's going on with the Hilltoppers, they're a little bit short in that area sometimes. No pun intended.
They're short-handed
at times.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And Braxton Bayless has been the one to step up recently. Last time they were in this gym, he went for 27 points against Louisiana Tech.
Yes, and it's going to come down, we talked about prior to the opening, is neither team shoots great and both teams foul. So it might just come down to who shoots the ball well. And Braxton Bayless is the best three-point threat that Western Kentucky has, so he's going to be a key to this game.
FIU makes the least threes in the conference. WKU likes to throw them. Both teams foul a lot, like you said. I think it's going to come down to who win those battles at the three-point line and the free throw line.
Threes and frees.
WKU leads the all-time series 40-13 between these two teams. They've won 20 of 24 played inside this arena, but it's become a recent trend now. Overall, the home team just wins when these two teams play 9 straight games. The home team has won in this series. WKU hoping that holds firm as they jostle for tournament seeding. They win the tip to get it started. And the Hilltoppers, 7-9 in Conference USA play, will operate offensively first. Here comes Braxton Bayless quickly to the rim. Can't get it to go, but it's kicked outside. Second chance opportunity. Woo, Marshall cashes in.
Well, there you go. I said somebody's going to have to make a few threes in this game. It's not the wheelhouse of either team, and then one team's probably going to have to stay out of foul trouble. And what Western Kentucky doing what they do right out of the gate, which is get their hand all over the basketball.
Both teams elite at forcing turnovers, top 3 in Conference USA. FIU actually ahead of WKU in that department. They're 19th in the country in steals, WKU 47th. Jalen Jackson's been a huge part of that. He's averaging around a steal and a half per game. Gets it off a handoff, has a screen with 5 on the shot clock, stuck to Marshall, one more to McHenry. Can't get it to go at the horn.
Wow, really good basketball. So the first 2 possessions, they've basically run an empty side of the floor with 3 on the fence on the other side, trying to get FIU in those rotations. And a lot of times, you're not going to get the shot until you got it where McHenry got it, which is in the corner. So you put one of your best shooters over there.
Freshman Ashton Williamson holds it up top, now whips it over onto the right wing. Cross court, left corner, deflected and knocked out of bounds by Dom McHenry, the star, averaging 17.2 points per game in just 2 seasons at the D1 level, has just eclipsed 1,000 points here at WKU.
Yeah, that's a heck of an accomplishment, and he's got tremendous speed. So, and when he's one of those guys, when he sees the first ball go in, if the second one goes in right after it, you got some issues.
So Lachum able to get an offensive rebound after the shot misfired just to beat the shot clock. FIU elite on the offensive boards, WKU elite on the defensive boards. Another one missed, but another second chance for FIU. And immediately we're seeing the length pay dividends for the Panthers. They've got a huge advantage in that department, but WKU gets a free turnover. McHenry all the way to the rack, gets blocked at the rim, but Marshall gets it back for the Hilltoppers. He goes right to the body, now kicks it into the corner. McHenry tries again for 3, and he buries that one.
Yeah, there you go. You gave him 2 shots from the exact same spot, and a guy who's a pretty good shooter. And it's unfortunate, Ashton Williamson made a heck of a defensive play in transition there, and gets a block, and Western Kentucky ends up with. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Gittens nearly traveled with it off the collision. Now Williamson goes down low. Fadeaway jumper missed long by Salajum, who had 8 points in just 9 minutes before getting injured in the first matchup between these two teams as McHenry rattles home a tray from the top of the key.
There you go. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. He's one of those guys, man. He's a scorer. He sees a bucket or two go in, and he rattled the first one out. Second one goes in, then he makes a hard one.
And I was going to say the next time WKU got the ball that he was just 3 for 18 from 3 over the last 4 games. He said forget that as FIU gets their first bucket to cut the WKU lead to 7. The Hilltoppers with 3 triples in the first 3 minutes. I guess our opening key, the threes and frees, was spot on.
Absolutely.
Foul called with contact up top against Jaden Brewer, the offensive star for FIU, averaging 14.3 points per game. That's 8th in Conference USA. He has been a really developmental piece here at FIU. Averaged 4.5 points as a freshman, 8.5 as a sophomore. Now just at around 14.5. Only had 7 points in 15 minutes against WKU, but Dean, we'll talk about that game more as this one goes on. They really didn't need it with how well everyone shot it from outside. Marshall wants another from deep. It's the Hilltoppers striping it from 3 in this one.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Hey, it gets contagious, man, and you know.
Up top, FIU tries to answer, misses long from A-Bar. And here come the Hilltoppers with a 12-2 lead in the opening 3.5 minutes. McHenry heat check, and we've got a wedgie.
Oh man.
That'll really bring the energy down, won't it?
Yeah. That's hey, it's gonna happen, man.
Well, if you're FIU, you'll take a stop however you could get one right now.
100%. And I'm not shocked to actually see, you know, McHenry get right into that shot because, like I said, he rattled the first one out and he makes 2. But the Hilltoppers doing what they do down here defensively, Tyler. I mean, they just get – I've been saying it every game I've done for them. Oh, boy.
Looked like some contact on the drive. No call. Another offensive rebound, but the layup is missed by Deshaun Gittens. Another opportunity. Gittens has it on the block. Does convert this time off the fine from Cole Williams as FIU with an adjustment to get the freshman guard Williams into the ball game. And that was very quick from Coach Jeremy Ballard within the first 4 minutes there to notice that things were spiraling and immediately make some changes.
Yeah, and this is, you know, A-Bar is kind of he's really a 5, I guess. They don't have him listed at that, as you mentioned, but.
Bayless from outside.
Here we go. So. Western, I said it's going to probably come down, which sounds like a ridiculous thing to say. We talked about before it even came out, oh, they got a team that shoots better. But in this game, it literally, because both teams struggle. So if somebody can get going, and there you go, digging it out as a guy goes into a post move.
WKU makes 8.3 three-pointers per game. That's 4th in Conference USA. They were averaging 5 made per game over their last 3. They're 5 for 7 to start this game and lead at 15-4 early in the first half. 7th-year head coach Jeremy Ballard trying to find answers for his FIU Panthers, who trail 15-4 with the early barrage from 3 for WKU. Ballard, FIU's all-time D1 wins leader, came in, had 20 wins in his first year. That was the most since, here's some trivia, Richard Pitino in 2012-13, tied for the 3rd most all-time at FIU. Had a great run as an assistant at VCU with those teams that were regulars in the 2nd and 3rd rounds of the NCAA tournament. And then in his first year at WKU, Hank Plona, what a job he's done battling through all the injuries. One of 16 finalists for the Joe B. Hall Award for the top first-time Division I head coach.
Yeah, I think Coach Plona, he's one. This year, they got a giant medical thing, box hung up in the locker room because he's had to Band-Aid it through everything over the course of this year. And to be 7-8 in the league at where they're at now is actually a pretty good accomplishment.
Cole Williams misses the 3 for FIU. Lander gets an open look from the mid-range until he's fouled on a closeout. And we'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Christian Lander averaging just around 11.5 points per game on the season. Been in double figures 10 times. Had done so 6 straight games before he was injured against Sam Houston. Had an incredible run, career high 30 against Jacksonville State. has struggled since returning from that injury. Just 5 for 22 from the field over the last 2 games, but a good way to get going for any player trying to knock off the rust is at the free throw line.
Yeah, absolutely, and I give this kid credit. He struggled early on in the year shooting the three-point ball. Then he sort of righted himself, got going, and then unfortunately, like a lot of the guys on their team, he picked up an injury, and then you're out a little bit, and it takes – you can come back earlier in the season because other people aren't as good a rhythm, but when it happens later, it's more difficult.
Floater gets the bounce and falls through for Dante Wilcox. Had a great game against WKU the first time, did a little bit of everything. 6 points, 5 rebounds, tied a season high with a couple blocks, averaging 3 points, 2.6 boards per game on the season in his 6th year here at FIU. How rarely do you see that in today's game, as left side Marshall can't hit for the Hilltoppers, and FIU has a chance to trim into this 10-point WKU lead. They go on the block to Wilcox, or should I say they tried to go on the block to Wilcox, and it's overthrown and out of bounds. And that's one of those that look like if you were trying that entry to Salachum, it's right on target, but you got to adjust for your different heights down there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit high. I actually think he caught him off guard because he was down, like he was waiting for him to bounce pass it in, and then he just couldn't. He probably is long enough and athletic enough to get the pass, but he was. It's like a catcher expecting a curveball, and you get throw a fastball. You can't get your hands up there fast enough, and it hits the umpire in the face mask.
Bayless driving left side, tries to work it around to Lander, but steps out of bounds. Despite the turnover, I would say WKU fans breathing a collective sigh of relief right now as the big news, Enoch Colombe back for the Hilltoppers, averaging just over 8 points per game, but in conference play, averaging double figures. Was huge for the Hilltoppers before suffering an injury, and massive for them to have him back down the stretch here as Bayless reaches in, trying to take it away from Salachum on the block.
Yeah, on both those points, obviously Colombe coming back is a big deal for Western Kentucky, especially as you mentioned, we're trying to get a seed in the tournament, right? So that's huge, and the confidence that it gives you. And then, you know, they got to be careful about like those fouls. Like I don't think Salachum's getting to a makeable shot where he was.
He's going to catch and shoot from the top of the key and bury it.
He said, hey, Coach Cooper, let me see if you think I can make this one.
Just his 6th three-point try of the year, but Deanie's made 3 of them. Maybe he should fire up some more.
Well, he had his feet set, and, you know.
Colombe drives, loses it, kicks it out. Lander catch and shoot. That one off the right side. WKU has cooled down since the hot start. Their lead down to 7. In transition, great play by Edlin from behind, but FIU saves it, and they get a right corner tray from Jaden Grant.
It's happened at both ends. Teams got blocks, and ends in transition, ends up the other, and they get a 3.
16-12 now the score. FIU, what a response. And they're doing it from 3-point range, which doesn't really make sense when you look at the season numbers. They're last in the conference in percentage, attempts, makes, but when these two teams faced off the first time around on FIU's home floor, they go 11 for 22, 50% from outside. Their only game with double-digit three-pointers made this year. They jump out to a 20-5 lead to start the ball game, 52-29 at halftime, and run the Hilltoppers off the floor, 85-66. Since that point, they've lost 12 of their last 14, and offensively peaked against WKU, tied their season high that they also had against Sam Houston, but they had some extra time to get that total in an overtime affair.
Yeah, true. You know, they, like you said, that first game down there, they were red hot, just like the Hilltoppers started out here tonight.
WKU has missed their last 2 threes out of that last timeout. They have possession up by 4. Lander, touch pass, Colombe. One more, Edlin thought about it. Instead goes McHenry for 3. It's short, but he's fouled on the closeout from Ussum Jones, which you'd mentioned this with WKU on the other end, but you also said at the beginning of the broadcast, we'll see this from both teams. Each will be a little over-aggressive and commit some fouls that as a coach, sometimes you just got to turn around and shake your head.
Yeah, they're both in the bottom of the country, and they're in the bottom 40 in free throw rate for their opponents. So, you know, that's going to be a big, they play aggressive. You know, FIU does it because I think in part because of how they play the pick and roll. They get out, they blitz the pick and roll and things like that. And then Western's they're just activity level defensively overall. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. You know, you're trying to trade off the turnover percentage for the free throws and hope it balances out. But those are the ones as a coach right there, Coach Bowers, that you can't foul three-point shooters.
McHenry makes 2 of the 3, which big for him to get to the line. Had only taken 12 in his last 6 games, but most of the year averaging around 5 attempts per game. That's dipped down now to 4.4, and they are at their best when he's attacking and getting to the free throw line. Those two put WKU up 18-12. Ball kicked out into the right corner. Grant with it for FIU, gives it up at the free throw line. Wilcox spins up top. Brewer fires up a 3, and he buries it from the top of the key.
Yeah, and then, you know, Western Kentucky's going under on the dribble handoffs and the stationary, rightfully so. And hey, they're not gonna go over, right? Like,
right.
But you just play it out, let the percentages get to what they'll be over the course of 40 minutes. Don't overreact. And
Edelin responds for WKU. There's 6-3 of the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of shots, but man, you know, when he gets his feet set, he can be potent. I think they might have to put him away from the pick and roll and take advantage of that blitz if they can get it out of there fast enough.
He's over 35% from deep on the season. That's the 16th he's made this year after last season going just 1 for 11. Here comes McHenry in transition all the way to the rack, and the contact finish goes.
Tough finish right there. Good job by Don McHenry.
What a start he's off to already. 10 points, 3 for 6 from the floor, and 2 for 4 from outside. Jones gives it up top to the big man Salachum. Now onto the left wing, Brewer. Back to Salachum on the baseline, operating against Blaze. Keita gets around, takes the bump, scores, and one.
Wow. That was something. I don't know if we can get a replay of that, but his quickness that he spun off of the defender and got to the other side of the rim, wow.
It's a play so good, we'll wait to see the replay after the break. WKU up by 6 early on. 23-17, WKU leading FIU here inside Diddle Arena. Tyler Eaton joined by Dean Cooper. And Dean, we talked before the game about Vianney Salachum. Thought he had a good matchup against this undersized, injury-riddled WKU team. We didn't know he had moves like that in the arsenal.
Wow, I mean, that's like Olajuwon type moves. Seriously, like how fast he spun off the defender. It's funny because the shot that he took a few minutes ago when he shot the turnaround reminded me of Ewing.
Yeah.
Because that was a shot that Patrick took, and then he comes and gets the dream, you know, he spins off him like that. Man, is he long? Look at him when he's standing still there.
Well, normally the comparison, you bring up those two players, you could bring him up and talk about his shot blocking. He averages 2 per game. He's second in Conference USA on the season behind Daniel Bacho. He's had multiple blocks in 17 games, a season high 4 times.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's a good-looking player. I love his length, and he obviously shows some inside-out ability.
McHenry has been the star offensively for WKU so far with 10 of their 23 points. Keita gets it on the right side, continues to see increased minutes, averaging 2.5 points, 5 rebounds per game. Left side, Bayless for 3. That rattles off, and it's rebounded down low by Salachum.
Good job finding Bayless on the shake action on that single side tag off the pick and roll.
Brewer kicks it over to Jones. Has a screen on the left wing, now dumps it into the corner. Battling is Salachum down low again against Keita. Steps back, fires from 15. He's feeling it.
Yeah, he is. He is going to turn into Dream. I think he's going to go over there and say, throw it to the big men.
Played for 2 years at Panola Community College in Carthage, Texas. Is averaging 10.2 points, around 5 rebounds per game. Their most efficient player at 52% from the floor. Lander from the left side, slashes to the rim, can't finish with the left hand, rebound tipped out, but McHenry comes away with it. He flips it up from the free throw line and scores.
Good job of keeping the ball alive there.
I know you've seen James Harden do that a few times with the left hand.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, most of those I was sitting on the correct bench. A few years I was not.
Trap on the baseline, kick out, three-pointer miss. Lander got away with a foul against Gittins, no call. And here comes Marshall the other way for WKU. Fits it into Bayless, collision under the basket. They give the shooting foul. Bayless with the and one.
Wow, this will be interesting. I don't know if we'll see a replay. Doug Shows is a heck of an official, by the way, so I'm not going to say that he got this wrong. But this is an interesting play because I'm going to see if he caught it in the lower defensive box. He did not, and he was at his feet below. I don't know, that was a tough one. Doug Shows is a good official, but that was a close call.
And if you're on the FIU side, I know a frustrating sequence overall, and currently the conversation is happening on the far side, is I know Coach Ballard is inquiring perhaps not just about that play, but pretty clearly there was a foul on the three-point try before it, but WKU, to their credit, they get out in transition, they take advantage, and Bayless have 5 points early on. The season numbers perhaps don't jump out at you with Braxton Bayless at 7.8 points per game, but he's been so good in Conference USA play in double figures 7 times, and he's really emerged as a facilitator here of late with 3 or more assists in 6 of 8 games. Right side, ball lost, but it's regathered. Now Brewer doesn't get it off the handoff. Instead, beautiful cut. Now it's kicked out left corner for 3. Panthers can't strike, but another offensive rebound. It's Gittins with that one.
But both teams are maximizing their opportunities to score because they're coming up with offensive rebounds. We got a little.
Jackson gets the foul for WKU, fighting down low with Abar. Yeah, Jackson got him there by the arm.
Yeah.
And they're now saying they're going to review this because we had said here Jackson fouled Abar.
Yeah, I looked up and they're taking it out
and
of bounds.
And it was Abar that was called for the foul. They're going to go back and watch this one. I think rightfully so. We'll see if it ends up being upheld or something gets changed because that one from our vantage, I mean, we were both assuming here that it was called against Jackson. We were ready for FIU to have a baseline inbound.
Yeah, I'm watching the. I didn't see it when it was when it happened. Then we're watching the replay, which is over my right shoulder, and that's going. I turn and then I'm like, wait a second, the Hilltoppers are taking the ball out.
Well, and that's one of those two where if you're in the position of Jalen Jackson at 5'11", Abar at 6'9", it certainly looks like if you're Jackson, you're taking the worst of that.
Yeah.
But from that angle, it was a really good shot that we were able to get. It looked like it was him that initiated the contact and started pulling him down to the ground. But we'll see what the call ends up being here with 9:07 left to go in this first half. WKU up 27-20, but FIU has done a really good job of weathering the early storm from the Hilltoppers from outside.
They have. They have, and some of that Salachim scoring the basketball. They're keeping balls alive. Both teams have to get second chance opportunities. So this is going to be interesting because Doug Shows is the one that called it, and he's over there looking at it. And number one, is it going to be overturned?
Yeah.
And then two, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. This is putting it out there. I've seen plays like that, similar plays like that, be called flagrants if they think the guy's pulling them to the floor. So
they're
there
taking
could be
their
a lot
time
going
to look
on
back
right
at
here.
this, and it's a big deal too for FIU. If it holds, it's already your 5th foul of this opening half.
Yes.
And we talked about the importance of free throws in this game. WKU, they've already attempted 6, just 1 on the other side for FIU, who normally they're about both teams middle of the conference. WKU 4th in free throw attempts, but FIU they're averaging 19.4, just below WKU's 20. They took a ton against WKU in the first matchup between these two teams, went 14 for 16 in the first half alone, ended up going 20 for 25 for the game.
Yeah, both teams have actually done a pretty good job so far not fouling for how physical they are. And now Coach Plona is like, what's going on here?
After the review, the foul has been changed to white 1 is a hook and hold foul, flagrant 1. So Blue's going to shoot 2 shots and get the ball in the baseline.
Thank you. Might have came through our headsets, but Dean Cooper, I don't know if you were over here looking into your magic 8-ball or what was going on. You nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just looked at it and said, well, clearly the foul was on Western Kentucky, and then I've seen that call multiple times this year where you know, they're just trying to take the dangerous plays out of the game, and I understand guys can get hurt on. Look, he didn't do it purposely, but you know, nobody fouls on purpose for the most part, so it's not even about that. But didn't shock me at all that was how it turned out.
So the foul
I wish
is
I was that
overturned.
good at picking lottery numbers.
Not just overturned, but it's a double whammy for WKU. A flagrant called against Jalen Jackson, and now the Panthers will get the baseline inbound that we thought would be the case. Trigger deep into the right wing, and we get back underway. Ball on the right block. A-bar, kick out Williamson into the left corner. Isolated now is Jones. Goes baseline, bodies into McHenry, lost it on the way up. Cada might have got a hand on it as well. Here comes Bayless for WKU. Jackson wraps to the top of the key. The grad transfer from Texas A&M Corpus Christi started out at North Texas, averaging 3.5 points, 1.7 rebounds, most known for his defense. McHenry comes to get it with 8 on the shot clock. Fakes, passes, Bayless, quick trigger from the right side, knocks it down.
So there again, so they run this side pick and roll with a guy in the corner, and then when he comes out of the corner, we call that the shake action, and they've exposed FIU a couple times on that here in the last couple minutes. So we'll see if that's something they continue to try to milk.
Jones way off from the top of the key. Cada wanted a foul down low for the contact. Instead, it's just going to go back to WKU after the miss. And there for FIU, you talk about a chance to swing this first half. You get the flagrant called, you got another possession. You miss both free throws, and WKU immediately comes down and hits a 3.
Yeah, and then come down and have another empty possession on top of that. So that's going to be frustrating. You know, I was going to say, like, Coach Ballard, you can see what that's done to my hairline. He's got a lot more to deal. He's got a long ways to go before he has to worry about that. But that will drive you nuts as a coach.
On the left side with Marshall. Gives to Bayless as we just saw that score tick from 30 to 20 to 30 to 21. McHenry left elbow, contested jumper off the right side, and it's rebounded by Williamson. Quickly, they work it ahead with Brewer, who just has it ripped away by Marshall.
I got to say, I've done a half a dozen games that Hilltoppers this year. They are amazing. When you get around the lane, they just go in there and just take it out of your breadbasket.
Already the fourth steal for WKU. Step back, McHenry hits again.
Wow. Big shot, tough shot, man. That's just a guy who can score the ball.
And now the score on our stat broadcast. We're going to see if this continues to go back and forth. It went to 20. Now it hops up back to 24. FIU quickly gets an answer, regardless of what the score is officially. Here we've got it as the Panthers down by 9. It's turned into a 3-point party. Right side, another. McHenry can't connect. And here comes FIU the other way.
And we didn't really I didn't really think it was going to be a 3-point party. I just said who's ever going to shoot it a little bit better. So
I think both teams took that personally.
Yeah, I think they did.
Left side, Brewer on the block. A-bar hits Brewer in the lane. Beautiful spin, but a great job by Bayless to tie him up in the middle of the paint. And it goes back to WKU with the possession arrow. We've already had 12 three-pointers made in this ball game. It's WKU with 8 of them. And because of that, they've got a 33-24 lead here in the first half. Don McHenry stealing the show early on for WKU. He's already got 15 points. He's knocked down 3 shots from outside and only made 3 in his last 4 games. But Dean Cooper, he has been dialed in here tonight.
Yeah, so I said it. He's one of those guys, if he sees the first couple go in, and now you got your hands full. The very first shot he took was from the left corner. It rattled in and out. The next shot he took was from the left corner, went in. Then he made a tough 3. Now, when guys who can score and that's their sequence of events, you've got your hands full with that guy for the rest of the remaining time, for sure.
We, during that break, figured out what was going on with the score. It took a little while for a free throw from that flagrant to be added on for FIU, and so a mistake from here. I'm going to put the hand up, my bad. In our stats, they had us both being missed, and they corrected it. 1 for 2. FIU did go on those flagrant free throws, and that's why it's 33-24 as we get back underway with the Hilltoppers leading it by 9. Marshall step back 3 late in the shot clock. That one missed badly, and here come the Panthers the other way.
Yeah, he had no choice but to get that shot off. He was up against, as you mentioned, the shot clock.
Ball goes into the left corner. Now they work it down low. Short fadeaway, banked up and in. Salachim, you figured he had to be back in the game sooner rather than later for the Panthers.
Yeah, he's scoring it. Good cut there to get to the open spot. He actually made a hard shot.
8 points in 9 minutes. I mentioned the first time these two teams played. He's played 11 minutes tonight, and he's got 10 points.
Yeah.
Just a good matchup.
It's a matchup thing for the Hilltoppers.
Ball goes up top to Odiai. Hands it off to McHenry. 5 on the shot clock. Fadeaway 3. He can do no wrong.
Yeah, he's going to get, wow.
Williamson, the freshman, tries to answer. Missed it long, but the rebound is saved by Salachim, who tried a no-look pass down low, but by the time he made the pass, Jaden Grant had left the paint, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, and down at this other end, if they're going to have to be aware now of McHenry being on the right side of the floor in particular, with him coming to the top with his left hand. Here he comes down the right-hand side of the floor again.
He is very comfortable fading left.
Exactly. So, and the way he's got it going.
We'll see if they feed him again. It's Bayless on the left side. Now to Lander, right wing. Again, the shot clock down to 10 seconds. Kick out McHenry. Isolated, one-on-one. Defending him out there is Gittins. Leaves it down low. Keita collides, and foul is called. With just 3 seconds on the shot clock, the Hilltoppers able to force the issue, and Blaze Keita will go to the line for 2 free throws.
So this is a rule that maybe a lot of the folks don't know. So the defender had his feet inside the restricted area, but Keita caught the ball in what's called the lower defensive box. So now that negates his feet being in there, and I actually think that, it was 50-50 call, but it could have also been a called offense foul. And it's something, it's tough for the officials to officiate that play too. We have the, good fortune of hindsight off replay, but I even thought it when it happened, I was like, ooh, that might be an offensive foul.
Jalen Dorsey checks in for WKU, making his 17th appearance of the season. Played 8 minutes, picked up a couple of rebounds last time out. Bad loss for WKU, and they would tell you that. 65-47 at New Mexico State. Their season low in points, shot just 27% from the floor. You wouldn't be able to tell it by how they've played tonight.
No, they're playing tremendous right now, and a lot of that is Don McHenry.
Foul down low as Colombe was trying to defend in the block against Abar.
I got to mention this. The Panthers have lost 12 out of 14. They got this game and 1 game left. It would be very easy just to cash it in, but we said in the opening, these guys are college athletes, man. They're going to compete for 31 games. And a credit to Coach Ballard and his players. There you go.
Right side 3 knocked down. Jaden Grant able to dial it in again. That's his second 3 of the ball game. Had only made 4 all season coming into this one. As Lander can't get the loose ball. FIU has numbers the other way. It's Williamson in transition. Has it blocked from behind by Colombe. But another second opportunity. Grant can't convert this time. And Colombe fights for the board and wins the battle.
Wow. What a sequence. What a magnificent sequence by Colombe. I don't know if we can see from the time that, not now, maybe when we come back, when the time that the Panthers got the ball to him getting the block and then getting that offensive rebound. Amazing.
It's been all about the 3 ball early on in this game from Diddle Arena. 37-29, WKU leading FIU. But in games like those, it's small defensive moments like this one that can be the standout when you look back at the ultimate story of a game. Everybody in Hilltopper Nation so glad to see Enoch Colombe back as he gets the chase down block and then fights to get the rebound between two Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, that's just winning. Those are the tapes, those are the plays that tomorrow you come on and you have on the film. I say tape, that shows, dates me. You put on the film, and that's winning back. Coach Mullen puts on there, hey, this is what winning basketball looks like, because we couldn't even see it on the replay. The distance he closed to get the block was amazing, and then he stays with the play and then gets that offensive rebound. That's winning basketball by Colombe all the way around.
I missed the last 3 games, was injured against Sam Houston. He played the early part of that game. If you remove that game, he's averaging 11 points per game in Conference USA play. I mentioned earlier 8.5 per game overall on the season. Only played 14 minutes before fouling out. The first matchup between these two teams finished with 4 points. Once a 3 from up top here, can't connect. Long rebound in the corner, goes out of bounds. That was a really good job out there. Smart play by Grant just to seal off and not let Lander get to it.
Yeah. Don't try to grab the ball when it's going away from you like that, and then you lose it off your fingertips. But here's the one I don't understand that guys doing. When the ball just bounces and you can clearly, you're not under duress.
Right.
Like, do that 5-6 times a year. That costs you, that's a few rebounds.
Yes.
That, just grab that thing. But a play like that when the ball's going away from you is smart.
On the right side with Brewer. Their star scorer, 8th in the conference in points per game. He's only taken 2 shots tonight, made them both. He's got 5 points. Marshall on him now with 8 on the shot clock. Now Lander switches on off the screen. Brewer tripped up at the free throw line, and Lander picks up the foul.
Yeah, he did keep his chest square to him, but I don't know if we'll see it, but he kind of wrapped him around with the, yeah, you watch his right hand here. Yeah, they're going to call that every time.
Yeah, he got in with that arm in the back, and the legs kind of impeded as well. FIU has 6 fouls. WKU in the bonus for the rest of the half. His right side shot misses, but the Panthers with another offensive rebound. Second chance opportunity panked in by Brewer. That's what this team does. They thrive on the offensive glass. Already 9 offensive rebounds in this first half.
Yeah, they're in the top 80 in the country in offensive rebound percentage, and besides the 3 ball, it's a big reason that they're keeping this thing within striking distance going into halftime down, at the moment only 6.
McHenry, another runner. That one pushed long, and the Panthers clear the defensive board this time in conference play. They're last in defensive rebounding, first in offensive rebounding, as a foul is called on the drive, and that's the 6th on WKU. So now both teams in the bonus for the final 2:16 of this first half, and that's how Brewer wants to play. For as much as he scores, he's not dynamic from outside on the season. He's only made 11 threes coming into tonight. Did make one earlier, but he wants to get going downhill, get to the rim, get to the free throw line ultimately. They've only won 3 games in conference play, but the 3 they've won, he's averaging 7.7 free throws per game.
Well, you saw his speed in the open court right there. He actually, it's funny, you see him in person, and he actually reminds me of a guy that I had in the NBA who played at Florida from right down the street in Portland, Tennessee.
Say his name. As a Franklin, Kentucky native, I've never been more excited
Corey
for
Brewer.
any moment in a broadcast. You just made my night bringing up Corey Brewer in one of these broadcasts.
Hey, and let me tell you, I actually had the fortunate, we were texting, he and I were texting back and forth the other night. And one of my all-time favorite dudes, and what a great human being, man.
Oh, he's tremendous. As soon as you started with that, for some reason, my mind just knew it.
I saw you
I
going.
got so excited that I was going to get a Corey Brewer mention on one of these broadcasts. Lander denied on his way to the rim, and here comes Gittins for FIU. They've cut this to a 4-point game. Brewer throws it off the hands of Salachum. Can't recover, but on the far side, Marshall can't hold on for another WKU steal.
Yeah, a little wild play. I'm just going to finish off this Corey Brewer thing, and I honestly,
go
I mean
on
this
and on
100%.
about Corey Brewer. Just keep on.
If every guy that you coached was Corey Brewer, as far as his approach and his personality, it would be stealing money. It really would.
Salachum fires it into the left corner. Grant wraps around. Now gives it off to Jaden Brewer. McHenry guarding. Picks up his dribble with 3 on the shot clock. Right side, it's knocked away by McHenry. Hilltoppers have numbers the other way. To Marshall, left side three. Missed long. Hilltoppers have stalled out a bit. They're now 9 for 18 from deep. Started 5 for 7. Beautiful pass down low. First try no good, neither is the second for Grant. Diving for the loose ball is Jackson.
Wow.
Grant takes it away. What a save. What a sequence.
I got to give Coach Ballard his kids credit for, I mean, the way they are playing, for the struggles they've been. This is impressive.
Brewer cuts the lead to 2.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Here comes McHenry. He's caught with it, sends it out to Bayless. Thought about a deep shot.
They got to think, are the Hilltoppers going to take advantage of 2 for 1 right here? I'm not sure they're aware of the clock.
Marshall wraps to get it from Odiai. At the elbow, cross court, it's deflected, but Jackson comes up with it, and he's fouled as Brewer was on the floor and caught the leg with the arm, and WKU not just bailed out there of potentially a turnover, but now a bonus situation as the shot clock was down to 8.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate. I wouldn't even say there's some fouls that you commit like that, and you go, and as a coach you go, geez, so Pete, that's kind of a foolish one, but Brewer got his hand on that one. That's one of those, and then 2 guys go for it, and you end up fouling the guy. Now, Western Kentucky does have the 2 for 1 because there's a 10-second differential on the shot clock. And it won't be running after if he makes the second free throw. So
Jackson makes the first of what are now these 2 free throws. Jalen Jackson, a 66% free throw shooter on the season, fouled out in that game against New Mexico State, but scored 8 points before he did. His season high is 10. Had a couple steals against FIU. He's had multiple on this season, a handful of times. And when I say a couple, Dean, let me just add on to that, because to me, that was kind of just an inside joke with myself. He had 6 steals in that game against FIU, something he's done twice this season. As a quick timeout is taken with 40 seconds left in this first half. 39-35, WKU leads it in what has turned out to be a dandy of an opening half. Hilltoppers 9 for 18 from outside. FIU, they're 5 for 14, which might not sound like a huge number, but they've already matched their season average in makes from 3-point range, and the grittiness to battle back from a 16-4 lead out the gates. Like you mentioned, a 9-20 overall record. They're 3-13 in conference play. They're not playing like that here tonight.
Like I said, you give them credit. You give the kids credit. But hey, it's a tough time of the year. You know, you got 2 games left. Your season's winding down, and you know, they could easily say, hey, man, let's just get through this, but they've done anything but that. And that play right there in the corner of running across the floor and keeping that ball alive was, I mean, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. They've shot the ball well. They haven't fouled a lot, and they've given themselves several second chance points opportunities, which is why we're at with a 4-point differential.
Grant on the right wing gives it up top to Salachi. Now into the hands of Brewer. Gets a screen, hesitates right wing. Cut off on the baseline, spins, fakes. Jackson reaches in, knocks it away, but Brewer gets it back. Into the right corner, step back 3. That misses long. Bayless contests for the rebound. Loose in the corner. Brewer up with it and is able to save it on the baseline. 8 seconds left to go in the half. Open right corner 3. And 1.
Wow. It's just simple. What marvelous effort by FIU right here. I mean, they're down 4. They lost the 2 for 1 situation with 40.8 seconds left. They scramble the ball, and now they, unfortunately, Hilltoppers commit a foul on the 3-point attempt that went in, and now all of a sudden we might go into this game at halftime tied up at 39.
What an opening half for Jaden Grant. He's made 3 threes. I said this earlier. He had made 4 all season coming into this game. He's already got 9 points. Can't convert on the free throw. The Hilltoppers will have a chance to get one off before the horn. McHenry couldn't get it to go. And it's a 1-point game at the break. Jaden Grant already with a season high in the first half alone, as FIU, trailing by 12, 5 minutes into this game, has cut the lead to 1, 39-38 at the break. And if the first half has been any indication, we're in for a very fun second 20 minutes.
100% agreed. Well said.
WKU, so much to play for. With the seeding on the line, contesting, trying to earn, if they can, a bye in the Conference USA tournament, but they've still got work to do. 39-38, they lead it at halftime over FIU. Offense ruling the day inside Diddle Arena, 39-38. Hilltoppers leading as we're wrapping up the halftime break. Taking a look back at some of the highlights from that opening half for FIU. It's been the usual suspects. Jaden Brewer getting the job done inside, drifted outside, knocked down a three-pointer, not his normal game, but Dean, he is one of those players, just a super high motor, super high energy. He's going to find ways to score the ball.
Yeah, exactly, and he's done a little bit of everything. We see him scoring in the half court. He gets the ball out and he pushes it in transition. He gets in, he squeezes it down the paint here. He's really, they've all played with great energy, but Brewer's been at the top of that list, I would say, for sure.
And then how impressive has Vianney Salachum been in this ball game? Flash, the outside shot, the post move, gave him a little dream shake. He has been doing everything offensively for FIU.
Yeah, I got to be honest. That spin move might have been one of my favorite post moves of any player all year long. I love it, man. He spun off that guy, and then here he gets a little quick turnaround, and then he says, "Oh, you're too small."
Well, Dom McHenry, he's made everybody look small in this ball game. Whoever FIU has thrown at him, it has not mattered. He's got 18 points. He's struck 4 times from outside and has really done it in a variety of ways, off the catch, off the dribble there. What a step back. Again, we like to reference James Harden with you.
Yeah.
You've seen that lefty double step back before.
100%, and I love to see it, man. And he saw a couple balls go in early, and then he gets rolling. And this is a heck of a finish in transition, which is also like Harden because he didn't want to use his right hand.
Since you worked for Houston, you can say that.
Yes. Hey, I'm not complaining.
WKU leading it by 1 at halftime. It's been the 2-star guards have been doing exactly what you would expect them to do, different ways. Brewer, perfect from the floor, 4 for 4 with his 11 points. McHenry, more volume. He's already taken 12 shots in this ball game, but as we've talked about with WKU, when you look at all the injury issues for this team, which are highlighted by the fact that in the first game these two teams played, their leading scorer was Julius Thedford with 18 points, the freshman who has now been out with injury for 8 games for WKU. If you're the Hilltoppers, some nights it's one player stepping up from the supporting cast, and on a night like this, it might just have to be one of those vintage super Don McHenry performances.
I agreed. I think McHenry's going to have to keep playing offense at the level he is, but if they want to win this game, they're going to have to shore up the defensive rebounding.
Down low through 3 defenders. Dayshawn Gittens, who plays well above his 6'3" frame, gets the contested layup to go with the foul, and just like that, the Panthers have clawed back from a 16-4 deficit and lead it 11 seconds into this second half.
Yeah, we didn't see that this comes in a little bit late. So right out of that's kind of this Paul Pierce cut where the ball goes to the elbow and then you just dive in on top of the guy.
Gittens with a great start on the boards. He's already got 5 rebounds to lead the Panthers. I said he plays bigger than his frame, and they've got a lot of size out there. You wouldn't pick him to be the one leading the team on the boards in this game. That's where they've dominated. As Marshall gets stuck on the block, gives it out to Bayless. He's had a good start to this game with 8 points. It's just been so much McHenry that everything else has gotten overshadowed.
Yeah, agreed. It's interesting you say that about the size, because in the opening you mentioned that, you know, that Salachum's only listed center, and I'm almost wondering, like, sometimes guys don't want to, like Abar's like, I'm not a center, I'm a 4. It's like some 7-footers want to be listed at 6'11". You know, they don't want to be called a footer. It's LaMarcus Aldridge was that way, actually.
McHenry couldn't get the wild shot to go. With the way his night has gone, you almost expect anytime he puts it up, it goes in. But picture perfect start to the half for FIU. You get an and 1 on the other end. You force a shot clock violation. And now they've got possession up by 2. The freshman point guard Williamson gives it up down low. Another spin move, now a fadeaway, and it's swished home by Salachum. What can't he do?
I tell you what, he's hit him with a little bit of everything down there. He's smiling running back down the court. He's having a good time tonight. And people don't play through the post very often anymore. I'm actually having some fun watching it.
Bayless got stuck up top, jumped to make a pass, and then landed back down on his feet because nobody was there to get it. Immediately, WKU makes a switch as Cada comes out and Odiaye comes in at center. He's the more defensive-minded of the two at the Hilltoppers rotate, which, again, is already an extremely small team. Their starting default big man would be Babacar Faye down there. He's only 6'8", but was averaging 15 points, 7.8 rebounds per game through the first 10 games, but hasn't been able to play since for the Hilltoppers. Left side jumper misses this time for the big fella, and WKU gets the rebound with Wu Marshall, who's really had to step up in that rebounding department for the Hilltoppers. As Lander is bumped on the way to the rim on the other side.
Yeah, I tried to get to that time, but Coach Ballard said, hey, I got the big fella, got it rolling down here on the left block. Let's see if we can milk that a few times. I think McHenry probably going to get a shot this possession.
Marshall has it on the right wing. Now handed back by Odiaye to Lander. Drives. Kicks it into the corner. McHenry catch and shoot three. Off the front side, you called it, yep. And it was a good look.
Yeah, it was a good look, and he likes that left corner.
Can't convert, and here comes FIU. Again, they are feeding Salachum. Isolated on Odiaye. Now WKU brings pressure, and McHenry tips the pass out of bounds. Edelin comes in. McHenry gets an early breather in the second half. Edelin made a triple, one of the 9 for WKU. At halftime, they were on pace to tie their season high of 18 they had against New Mexico State. Salachum stuck outside, now finally hands it off to Williamson, the freshman leading them in an assist at 2.7 per game. Might have to find a way to get a bucket here as runner misses. Rebound tipped down, and it's last touched by FIU.
I tell you, both teams, there's bodies flying around at the rim when a shot goes up.
Here comes Jackson as WKU. Offensively, this lineup leans more towards Lander and Marshall. It's Lander that has it to Edelin, to Jackson driving baseline, and he gets bumped on the way to the rim by Giddens.
Yeah, so they ran that stack action where they back screen the guy after he sets the middle pick and roll. What they haven't gone to in a while, because they got some pretty good clean looks early in the first half, was that shake action with the corner filled on the side pick and roll. So we'll see if they migrate back to that at some point.
Marshall springs open for a moment. He's fouled by Brewer off the inbound. Tyrone Wu Marshall 2 for 5 from the floor, all of them three-point tries. He's got 6 points, and that's unsurprising. Over the last 8 games, he's averaging 6 three-point attempts per game. He's taken 50 over that span, made 18 of them at a 36% clip. As the first free throw misses short, he's been in double figures 15 times. 5 of their last 6, he's hit that mark because of the fact that he's able to step up, or has had to step up because of all the injury issues. And that's been a key number for them. The Hilltoppers 10-5 this year, when Marshall is able to find a way to get into double figures scoring. He makes the second free throw, and now he's got 7.
So Hilltoppers going to put on a little token pressure. When he comes in, he likes getting up and picking up full court and harassing that ball a little bit. You don't want to commit those kinds of fouls.
And that's the Edelin experience. You're going to get the ups and the downs with that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, he does a good job. He actually does a pretty good job of pressuring the ball full court without fouling most of the time.
Salachum, right-handed dribble, wanted the handoff, but it's denied extremely well by Lander, and it goes to Giddens. To Salachum, he's fouled on the mid-range jumper by Marshall. Tried to jump up and erase some of that height difference, but you talked about this earlier. It's not just the height, it's the wingspan for Salachum, and he really gets that ball up high when he takes those jumpers.
Oh, he sure does. I don't know what his, when you speak of the wingspan, like what his plus is, his wingspan over his height. I'm guessing he's probably plus at least 4, 5, 6 inches. I mean, he is long.
And immediately Don McHenry is going to come back in for WKU. Not sure how much we'll see him on the bench in this second half. As Sulacho fires up the second free throw. I like watching him shoot it because we talk about tall players with long arms. He's got a little bit of that minute bowl where it comes up over the head and it's got a little flick on the release.
Yeah, it's actually, those guys are at a disadvantage because the ball has to travel so far.
Nice fake down low by Edlin, who goes up amongst the trees and scores. You want to talk about height, there's 5'10" Jack Edlin getting it done in the paint.
It sure was.
Quickly, they go back to Sulacho. ODI one-on-one. Now McHenry comes to help. Pass over the head of Gittens, but fortunately it ends up with Jones on the right side. Back to Gittens, left corner three off the heel, no. Edlin fighting for the rebound, but leaves it to McHenry. WKU down three, beautiful find and jam from ODI.
Yeah, great rim run right there by ODI. Just took the direct route to the rim, ran right down the middle of Main Street, and Don McHenry did a great job of finding him. A little bit late, actually. I'm not sure what's going on.
There was a timeout called, it looked like, and now the officials are discussing to see what the official call is.
I think you're saying somebody's got cut hand.
That's what it looked like. And initially, it was signaled to be just a 30-second timeout called by the coaches, and now they are going to call a full timeout with 16-17 left to go in this second half. The Panthers had jumped out to a 4-point lead, but WKU starting to find their rhythm. 45-44, Panthers lead it early in the second half. FIU leading WKU 45-44, looking to play spoiler inside Tittle Arena tonight. Hilltoppers finding life offensively in this second half. It came out of some chaos, but here, Dean, I'll let you walk the fans through that set quickly. It was just a beautiful run, beautifully timed by ODI. You said the pass might have been just a little late, though.
No, when I said that, I said that did not come out right. The pass was actually on time. It was a late developing rim run is what I meant to say. So I did not articulate myself well.
Don, if you're going back or you're Don McHenry's family or fans, don't worry. The pass was perfectly timed.
Yes. I say it was late developing because usually a rim run, you throw it out to the guy ahead, but it would develop slow. So my bad, Don McHenry.
I think he accepts your apology as Christian Lander gets a steal out of the timeout. Had it knocked away from behind, but a foul called. Williamson can't believe it. Interesting story with Ashton Williamson, a three-star out of high school, commits here to FIU. Had an offer on the table from WKU, but lands with the Panthers, has really excelled this year, about 7.5 points per game. Again, has been their best facilitator. Couldn't get the steal there as Lander is bumped, this time by Jones, and will go to the line with a chance to put the Hilltoppers back in front.
Yeah, good cut. I think he just turned his head, lost the cutter. But you mentioned about, guys going to FIU here. When you're at this level where these teams are, oftentimes you're recruiting the same guys, right?
Yes.
And then they end up in your league, and especially now it's really crazy with the portal. Guys just transferring they might play at 3 different schools in the same league.
Yes. Lander will have a second. Can be very explosive offensively. He now just has 3 points tonight. They've all come at the line, but that one puts WKU back in front as a little life comes from the Tittle Arena crowd. Trying to cheer their Hilltoppers on to win number 17 of the season. Gittens left side, Lander on him. Denies the screen, now kicks it back out to Sulacho. Left side, Dante Wilcox. They go back to Sulacho. Again, WKU traps. Sulacho bends through it. What a find underneath, but unable to convert is Wilcox.
That's a second really good interior pass that he's thrown versus a double team, and neither time did his buddy convert. Oh, heck of a vertical play there.
And what a tip in by ODI on the second effort. Boy, he's had a great start to this second half.
That was a great play on both sides of the ball. Williams goes up, great verticality. It doesn't go in, and then ODI does a great job of staying with it.
Up top, We're going to get an offensive foul call. We do. Illegal screen on Wilcox. Evelyn was the one to draw it. The bench has sparked some life into WKU.
Yeah, Evelyn, he always, he's a spark plug when he comes in. It always feels like the energy in the game picks up.
Evelyn walks it across half court, averaging 3 points per game on the season. Career highs 11. He's done that twice in the last 4 games as Marshall flips up a runner. It misses long. It was initially lost down there by Salachum, but able to recollect it. And now FIU operates in the front court. Gittens will slow it down. Down low, Wilcox doubled and WKU fouls as McHenry sprinted in to try to take it away. They get the foul on Evelyn, who was there first.
These are the ones you just can't, this is why these teams struggle with defensive foul rate. And when you make those and now they get to the bonus, those are those types of fouls where you're like, extra 2 or 3 of those a game, that starts adding up. It gets them to the bonus quicker. You got to defend differently.
Double comes again, and Lander gets another steal. Christian Lander in transition, left-handed layup, good. WKU giving up size down there on the post, but they're bringing those doubles and forcing mistakes.
Well, that time they just went in and they tried to dig it out, and versus go over there and get on top of the guy real quick, which is how they committed the foul before. That was much better schematically right there.
WKU got off to a slow start in the second half, but boy, they've responded, now leading at 50-45 thanks to a 10-0 run over the last 2:45. 50-45, WKU leads. It's the defensive effort that has continued to ramp things up for the Hilltoppers here in this second half. Dean, let's take a look back at this sequence.
So you see how they went down and he just dug that ball out versus the previous one. McHenry came over and kind of committed what's probably going to a foul that Coach Ploner would not like, and then because of that, Lander gets an easy transition basket. But that was schematically really good. Just go in, dig out, maybe keep your hand in there. If nothing, you just get them to kick it back out, and once in a while they'll cough it up.
WKU with an 11-2 edge and fast break points in this game, and every little bit matters with a 5-point margin just under 6 minutes into this second half.
Yeah, I don't anticipate any other team, I think this is going to go down the full 40 minutes.
See if FIU gets Brewer more involved as he had a nice cross over the top that kicks it out to the corner. He went 4 for 4 with 11 points in that opening half. Has not looked to score in the second half so far. Wilcox has 3 defenders around him, tries to bat it out, and it's right into the hands of Marshall.
I know that all these visiting coaches,
3 rattles off,
or opposing coaches, because it would be there. When you get the ball around the lane against Western Kentucky, you better have 2 hands on it.
Brewer lost it inside. Good job that time by Salachum to go up and get it. And then a foul called underneath. So FIU would put WKU in the bonus, at least with their next foul, since they've already got 6 fouls. WKU, they've already racked up 5 in this second half.
Which is more typical of how each team generally defends.
The first half was pretty uncharacteristic in that department.
As was the 3-point makes.
Correct, which that has also come back down to earth. We have yet to see a 3-pointer made in this second half after we had 15 total. 6 on the shot clock. Ball goes into the post. Trying to work through his A-bar, and he's fouled. Jonathan Abar, I mentioned earlier how young this program is. He's the first second-generation player in FIU history, and there was able to slip through the double. And it's one of those fouls, again, I think you would say it. If you're Coach Plona, that's one that you're shaking your head and say, we didn't need that.
Yeah, you don't. Well, just come over and get your body in the way. Coach, I don't know what Coach Plona's vernacular is, but a lot of coaches would say, go over and foul with your chest so you don't get the reach in, right? You're much more likely to just get them to cough it up or throw it out or just take a bad shot. It's the reaching in ones that drive you crazy.
Abar made the first free throw. It's in this ball game just 3 points for him after he tied his career high with 19 and what was a really well-fought loss to Jacksonville State in double overtime on Saturday. That 19 put him right at 1,000 for his collegiate career. Marshall, cross court, McHenry, touch pass, Lander, drives in from the left wing. That's how he wants to operate, takes the bump, and scores. You cannot let him get downhill operating from the left side with that left hand.
Yeah, what a finish right here. We're going to see the contact. It's actually pretty good. I'm not even sure it was a foul, to be honest with you. I actually don't think it was a foul. But he did a great job of getting vertical, and I lost who that was, the defender. I was too busy watching Lander. But you got to give him credit, too. You know, finishing with his left hand. He's an interesting guy. You know, you mentioned Harden, like you were talking about McHenry, but Lander rarely drives to his right hand.
Lander, with the journey that he's been on, incredible. Was at Indiana for 2 years, high school All-American, premier recruit. Didn't quite know how he recovered, but man, he's found a home here at WKU. As whistle blows underneath, Odiaye was battling down low with Salachu. Picks up the foul off the ball, and now both teams are in the bonus for the final 12:37 of this ball game.
Yeah, I got Doug Scholes calling for the hook.
I think one thing that both teams are probably just going to have to adjust to down the stretch in this game is the whistles have tightened here in this second half.
Yeah, I think there's some truth in that.
Salachu makes the first free throw. He's a 69% shooter on the season coming into tonight. He's been perfect there in this ball game.
Yeah, you mentioned how long his lever is, but watch his release. Like, he's got his hands in a good position. He actually lets it go really smooth.
Yes. And again, you would think when you see the height and you see the high field goal percentage, their best shooter from the floor, it's all around the rim. But as we've seen, he functions from the mid-range. We've seen him stretch out to the three-point line. He can do a little bit of everything. Cuts the WKU lead to 4 there with the free throws. Marshall caught at the elbow, out to Edlin. Guarded up front by Jones. Beats him off the dribble. Turns, fires, and hits.
There you go. Get those guys going in one way and then give them the okie doke and turn back the other way. You got to, whoa.
Foul called as Odiaye again picks it up, this time against Gittins. FIU is started to find their groove offensively, getting back to what they normally do, attacking the rim, trying to force contact. This isn't a team that excels from outside. Both teams did in the first half. It's been a much more physical second half. So far, WKU holding on to the edge of 55-49. Big Red making the rounds, finally able to catch the attention. How does Big Red not get your attention? And now, I don't want to know what Big Red's about to do in that situation. As Hilltoppers, though, leading it 55-49 here inside Diddle Arena. WKU grinding it out against the Panthers, who really want to play this style of game, but Dean, the Hilltoppers, 6 for 10 from the floor in this second half, and they've been able to force some turnovers and get out and run in transition.
Yeah, that's what's pushed the lead out for them. And then, again, they haven't turned the ball over, and we said during the break to one another that, I mentioned to you that because of their foul situation where they're at already with 12 minutes in the game, they're going to have to not turn the ball over if they want to hold on. They can't start turning over and foul and not expect FIU to have a chance to win this.
Gittins splits the free throws, 55-50. FIU has done a great job of getting to the line in this second half, and really for both teams, that's going to continue to be an emphasis in the bonus for the rest of the ball game. Lander on the left side, he's picked it up in the second half. Now with 8 points, McHenry scoreless so far in this second half of play after he had 18 in the first half. Beautiful move, flips it up on the baseline, can't hit the runner, and it's rebounded down there by Abar.
Yeah, I got to be honest, when he made that crossover and got going to his left, I think he got whacked in the head through him. Oh my, good finish.
Great drive by Usam Jones, the junior, averaging 9.5 points per game.
Yeah, really good straight line drive right there. He saw the crease and just went after it. But I was saying, I think McHenry got hit in the face and didn't get called. But they're going to have to, he needs to find a couple easy shots.
Yep. The efficiency has dipped, now just 6 for 14 for the game. He's being hounded out there by Grant, who's played exceptionally. Lander stuck on the elbow, kicks it out to Marshall. Step back three, can't hit it. And the rebound is chased down by Jaden Grant. Up ahead and stepping on the sideline was Giddens.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because they were going to get 2 points there. And those are the kind of turnovers as a coach, too. Oh, yeah, he did put his foot down right before he let it go.
Yeah, it was that second foot that came down. The first one, I think he was able to keep the heel up. As Bayless brings it across half court for WKU. He had 8 points in the first half. Jackson over to Bayless, now to Marshall. Tries to kick it out to Lander, and that's one of those where before the ball hit his hands, he knew what he wanted to do, and he got a little bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah, sure did. They ran a little flex action, which you don't see often. They get Marshall to that post up. He made the right read.
And FIU can trim this lead to 1 or tie it with a 3. It'd be a welcome sight from either team. We've yet to see one in the second half. Here's one from the left corner. Missed long, and Marshall gets the rebound. One-handed pass up ahead to Bayless in transition. Pauses, flips it, misses it. Lander can't tip it back. Got hung up in midair, mistimed his jump, and still almost got it to go. Left side, shot fake. Now it goes on the baseline to Salachum. Double team comes, wraps around it and kicks it outside to Jones. Skip pass, back to Jones. Slices inside, had it knocked away. Outside to Grant for 3, missed it long. Nobody can connect, and WKU able to clear.
Yeah, that was another possession, and one,
Lander ends the dry spell.
There you go. Well, that was I know that they're missing threes this half. A part of that is a lot of them really have not been high quality threes. They're off the dribble, stepping sideways. That one, the guy gets 10 toes to the rim and knocks it down.
And in the first half, I mean, a lot of tough shots were just going in, but to what you said, there were a lot more open looks for both sides. And for FIU, a team that only shoots 29% from outside on the season, and they know that that's not their game. They don't try to take a ton of threes at a low clip. They take the 15th least threes in the country.
Yeah.
They know what their strengths are. In a game like this, it was clear there they were hunting for that shot to tie the game because the momentum had started to swing a little bit for the Panthers, but WKU found the response in Lander, who has really been the key point of the offense in this second half with his 11 points now.
Agreed. He got a couple of the easy ones getting out in transition off those turnovers, and he hits that. That one was contested. But again, it was outside of being somewhat contested. It's a good shot. It's in rhythm. Got his toes pointing toward the rim, and if you want to make them, all threes are not created equal.
Yeah. 1 point in the first half for Lander, 10 in the second half. He has scored over half the points for WKU, and the Hilltoppers lead it by 6. Salachum up top, sends it over to a wrapping Giddens. Bayless comes out to guard. Good job switching that by WKU. Back out Salachum. Operates momentarily off the dribble. Inside 10 on the shot clock. Brewer on the left side. Escapes, trapped. Contested jumper from up top, missed by Abar at the horn, but it goes right to Salachum in the corner. He darts it down low to Brewer, wrapping around Lander. 3 defenders surround him, kicks it out. 3-pointer from Williamson. Still can't find the mark.
Well, you can see what WKU is doing. Anytime they get anywhere near the lane, they're just going down and doubling and just daring them to throw back out and saying, oh, you probably shot well above your average in the first half. We're just going to see if you can sustain that, and FIU hasn't been able to. Water finds its level most nights.
And they move so well defensively that even the looks they're getting from outside still aren't open.
100%. And to be honest with you, FIU's, I thought there were a few times when they should have just caught it and let it go.
Jackson back to Marshall, onto the baseline. Bayless flips it in.
It's an important possession for the Panthers right here, Tyler. They need to get a bucket, I think.
Bayless into double figures now with 10. They go back to old reliable tonight, Salachum, who hits the 6-foot jumper.
Yeah, so the Hilltoppers tried to come over on the baseline double team, and he did a good job reading it and finding the guy at the opposite block, which is, coincidentally, where Salachum found guys when he was getting double teamed.
Solachum's season high is 21 against MTSU. He's got 18 points, 5 rebounds here tonight. Cada comes to get at the top of the key, now goes over to Marshall against Abar. Now it's switched to Solachum. He likes the matchup, gets inside and scores it with the right hand.
There's the advantage of being long. Good, really good finish right there by Marshall. Underhand finish. That's a tough one.
62-54. WKU leads by 8. Gittens posting up against Bayless. Lander comes to trap. Goes into the corner to Brewer. Has only taken 1 shot in the second half and missed it. They double him with Cada and Bayless. Trapped over on the far side. Whistle blows and FIU has to take a timeout. This swarming WKU defense has completely changed the landscape, the energy, and the momentum of this game, and all of a sudden, the Hilltoppers lead at 62-54. Offense was the story in the first half for both sides. It's turned into a defensive grudge match in the second half, and WKU has had the edge so far, Dean.
Okay, pause it. Right there, WKU's made a very conscious effort that you mentioned. When they get anywhere near the lane, they're coming to double team. Now, we can't see from this angle, but somebody needs to go right to the front of the rim and give this guy an outlet pass. No different than against the press.
And just nowhere to go, stuck within the long reach of Cada, and they had to take a timeout. And that's one thing we talked about during the break. In times like this, the off-ball movement that's so important for an FIU team that we have seen for the most part is highly reliant on beating defenders off the dribble drive. It's going to be about ball movement for the final 7 minutes of this game for the Panthers.
Absolutely. Now you got it. Wow. Well, that's a heck. I mean,
that's one way to do it. You don't give them time to double with the shot clock going down. What a fade away from Gittens.
Yeah, wow. I guess that's one way. That's how you beat the double team, is you don't dribble it and give them an opportunity. But, man, that's hard living right there to try to win games doing that.
Lander gets left again, swings it into the right corner. Dorsey in for WKU, collects and sends it out to Jackson. They're giving McHenry one more ride on the bench. Jackson kicks it out. Bayless, Lander, 4 on the shot clock, fakes, fires, right in the eye of the defense.
Really good. A lot of that comes from that other one going in, but shot fake, the guy runs at him, just a quick one dribble right, and he keeps his feet past the three-point line versus taking that long non-rim two.
He's now got 13 points in the second half. He's made 2 threes in the ball game as a foul is called at the free throw line. And with the bonus, now shifting to the double bonus. No, that leaves it at 9, so it's still just the 1-and-1 for FIU. The next foul will be 2 free throws on every foul call, and here I think a double-edged sword for WKU. You don't want to be on either side of this. Not just do you pick up the foul, but a chance for Brewer potentially to get going now offensively. FIU needs it desperately, but can as the free throw misses. And he was kind of gritting the teeth together as he ran back down the floor. He knew he needed that.
Yeah, he did. This next 2 minutes coming into the 4-minute timeouts crucial for FIU for sure.
Cada hands to Lander, heat check. He's hot.
Yep. Well, you can check it as hot.
He's checked every box in this second half. 16 points in the half. Knocks it away down low. Is it going to be another steal for WKU? Out of the fray comes Jackson. Up ahead, Marshall, Lander, give him another. Oh, it rattles off, and here comes FIU the other way. Williamson left side, aggressive drive at Cada, can't spin it in. And Cada gets the rebound as well.
Cada did a really good job of not fouling there and just kind of holding his ground.
McHenry up top to Cada. Surveys, Marshall right corner. One-on-one with Williams. The 6'4" freshman guard backs him down at the elbow. Spins, has it knocked away. Great defense from FIU. Here come the Panthers the other way. Left side, foul called, layup good with the bump for Deshaun Gittens. He's making play after play for FIU if no one else is.
Yeah, really good job at getting out, and Brewer gives it up really good time. And I think McHenry's trying to get out of the play, but the Hilltoppers, obviously Landers pushed this lead out with the hot shooting, but the only thing that likely can get FIU back in this game that would be from the Hilltoppers being participants are live ball turnovers and continuing to foul on defense. Just make them earn every basket over the top of you.
Gittens now with 11 points in the ball game. Panthers have put 3 in double figures, but they trail it by 9, 68-59. McHenry right side. Between the legs dribble with 15 on the shot clock. Gets a screen from Odiaye. Sends it out to Marshall. Between the legs dribble guarded by Abar. To Lander. Jabs, drives, kicks. Marshall, one more. Clean look, McHenry. No good, and rebounded opposite side by Brewer.
Good basketball by Marshall, though, going from the good to great pass to McHenry in the corner.
Here comes Brewer the other way, flips it up with the left. Nice shot.
Wow, tough finish right there by Brewer.
That's one of those as a defense, really all you can say is great offense.
Yeah, you just pat the guy in the butt and say, hey, man, I'll see you down at the other end.
Can WKU answer this quick run from FIU? Odiaye hands to McHenry, just inside the three-point line. Gives it back to Odiaye, who flushes it home with the right.
Really good job by McHenry, keeping his patience in the pick and roll there and letting Odiaye get out of it and finding him on late on the pick and roll, late in the play. That was really good.
9-point lead again for WKU, 70-61. Double comes, getting around it, fading and missing is Salachum, and WKU gets the rebound. Marshall has 9 boards for the Hilltoppers. The rest of the team combined just 15. And now McHenry's going to slow it down as we tick towards 3 minutes left in the game. Double team comes from FIU to Marshall. Drives in from the left side, wraps it to Odiaye, kicks it out Jackson, 3 on the shot clock, 12-foot jumper, long.
Pretty good possession though there by WKU getting late. Oh, really good Wolf.
Jackson
steal.
knocks it, McHenry, lob, Marshall!
Wow, great. It all started with the Wolf steal, the back tap from Jackson, and then you get a run-out Sports Center dunk that could be the nail in it right there, but well, maybe not. Salachum says, hey, oh, not so fast.
He has been the answer time after time for FIU as he buries the 3 from up top and ties his career high with 21 points. Business is picked up on both ends as the Hilltoppers able to get out and run. They want to run away with a win here inside Diddle, leading at 72-64 with 2.5 minutes left. 72-64, WKU leading FIU with 2:38 left in the ball game. Tyler Eaton joined courtside by Dean Cooper. It was a 3-point flurry in the first half, but it's turned into a jam session here in the second half for WKU.
Great job on the pick and roll, finding the roller late in the roll, which is exactly what you have to do on that play. And then here you see the back tap by Jackson, and that leads us out, gets you out to the highlight plays to show up on Sports Center.
I wonder why here at WKU they call Tyrone Marshall Woo. It's really hard to figure out, isn't it? It's every game he's got a play like that in his arsenal.
Well, here he stands right in front of us, man. He's got a heck of a basketball play. If you were going to build a basketball player, you go, make it look like that.
Oh, and he's such a great athlete, but also a tremendous shooter from outside. The answer came from outside before the break from Salachum, and FIU gets a little defense of their own. Down low, great tip by Lander. Here comes WKU. Jackson gives it to Marshall. McHenry, the dagger. Missed it long.
Well, that's twice now. Marshall's made the unselfish play and thrown the ball to McHenry in the corner, who is obviously a good scorer, especially from that corner. He didn't get the payoff either time.
Brewer tempted to shoot by McHenry, takes the dare and airmails it short. That time played into what McHenry wanted him to do. I said this earlier, even after he hit the three-pointer, he's just a 20% shooter from deep on the season.
Yeah, it's not, you know, he played great in the first half offensively and doing what he does, and, you know, sometimes, obviously, shots earlier in the game they feel different because now it's as you see, they're going to have to talk about this inbounding the ball here. They've done it twice in the coffin corner there. They're going to have to, Coach Malone call timeout and get that addressed.
72-64, 2:04 left in the ball game. It was all McHenry in the first half with 18 points. He's been scoreless in the second half for WKU. Lander has 16 points in this second half for the Hilltoppers. They've got 4 in double figures. Throw Marshall and Bayless into that conversation. Salachum, for the most part, has been the feature player offensively for FIU, but now they're stuck against the wall. You figure they're going to have to do a lot of what they don't want to do, and that's forced up the 3-ball, which they were great at in the first half. 6 for 16, but just 1 for 7 in the second half.
Yeah, it's what they're going to do. But the first thing you're going to try to do here is obviously you got this press going to turnovers, but I'm sure Coach Polona said, do not throw the ball to the corner. We've done it twice in a row.
Which this is normally where FIU excels.
Exactly. Now they caught it up. He gets it. Bayless gets it further up at the free throw line, extended. But now the clock's against them. They're going to trap it. Here we go.
They're going to have to trap everything. McHenry breaks through it, takes a bump, and will go to the line. We'll see if they get that on the floor or in the act of shooting. It'll be a 1-and-1. They say the foul was before the shot attempt for McHenry, who was trying to slice through and fouled there between 3 defenders.
So we're going a little offense-defense substitution here with Coach Polona.
They bring in Odiaye as the big down low as McHenry bends, fires, hits the free throw to get on the board for this second half. If he makes the second, he'll have his 13th 20-plus point performance of the season. And he does. 10-point lead for WKU with 1:53 left to go. Jaden Grant on the right side had that incredible first half with 9 points. Scoreless so far in the second half. He's left open. Can't hit the 3. Rebound tipped. Lander up with it.
Now you don't need to score, actually. You just need, this is a good lesson, and let the clock work for you.
That was a great job by Lander to just wrap that back to the left wing. And for now, the double team doesn't come. Lander guarded by Abar, gets inside. Leaves it for Odiaye, who doesn't take the 3, makes a smart play and gives it to Marshall.
He was like the kids say, don't touch those cookies.
Oh, but he fights for a rebound and then picks up the foul down low. And that's a big no-no in a spot if you're WKU leading by 10 to commit a foul, regardless, but especially when you've got FIU in the double bonus.
Yeah, but they have no choice, so at this point, I mean, they got to try to do everything to get the ball back. I wish we could see Odiaye. He wanted to shoot that ball so bad. Oh, man.
Burrow will take the 2 free throws for FIU, a 70% shooter on the season. Misses the first of these 2. They're 9 for 12 as a team at the free throw line in this second half. Brewer now 2 for 4 at the line tonight.
And the shot that he made this half was the hardest one he had, was that going to the left.
Bank shot over 2 defenders. Does get the second free throw to go, and it cuts the WKU lead to 9. Hilltoppers looking to move to 13-4 at home this season and make it 10 straight between these 2 teams that the home team has won. McHenry up ahead to Bayless. Wraps around Grant. Tried to leave it for Marshall, and it's stolen away. Good hands by Salachum. Gittins brings it across with a minute left to go in the ball game. Drives into McHenry, who draws the offensive foul.
Yeah, good call. McHenry dig his feet in, but I'll tell you what, I think, oh yeah, really good, easy call.
We've mentioned James Harden multiple times tonight. I didn't know if you were going to bring in the selling factor into that play, but I think there was pretty clear contact.
I'm going to stay away from that right now.
McHenry has it on the right side. Hilltoppers with a 9-point lead with 50 seconds left to go. Bayless standing at the midcourt logo, and for now, FIU standing back defensively, and now they bring the pressure. Bayless and McHenry pass it back and forth. Lander comes to set a screen as Bayless outside. Lander, right side 3. Long, and the rebound is collected by Salachum. And he goes down. He's hurt. Is holding the hip and had gotten that rebound and then went down, was looking for anybody to pass it off to. with 27.2 seconds left to go.
That was a very, I don't know if we'll see the replay here. It was a very awkward fall. Actually, when he went down, the waist, yeah.
He had gone up and gotten the rebound and then turned, and really tough to see what happened there, Dean.
Yeah, when he went down, sometimes with the way he twists his body, I thought maybe he tweaked his knee a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed like something with the knee. He's up now. And really hope that he's okay.
At my age, at 57, when I fall like this, it's relatively normal for me to grab my back, but I wouldn't expect him to do it.
21 points for him. He'll finish tied with his career high. What a game it's been for Vianney Salachim. We knew coming in he was our key player for FIU. Matchup favored him, and it hasn't just been the size. He's gotten it done from everywhere. But FIU on live support now as we get back underway. Left side drive, Williamson reverse layup good with 22 seconds left to go.
Good pistol action there, and then full speed. Smart by Western Kentucky. Don't foul. And I just want to mention, I'm watching Vianney Salachim over there on the side, and in all seriousness, I joke about my back. I hope the kid's okay. He's a good player. They got one game left, and hopefully this is something that they can get the trainers to work out, and he'll be fine going into this weekend.
Lander will get free throws after the foul. What a game for Christian Lander. A big bounce back performance for him as he makes the first free throw. And been in double figures for 6 straight games before he was injured against Sam Houston. His last 2 games back, just 5 for 22 from the floor, 2 for 11 from three-point range. Tonight he's 5 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from outside, make it 6 for 7 at the free throw line. And he's got 19 points overall, 18 in the second half. Right side, Williamson 3, misses long, and who else but Christian Lander to clear the rebound for WKU as Marshall will dribble it out. And the Hilltoppers pick up conference win number 8 on the season. They moved to 17-13 overall, holding on to a 1-point halftime lead that quickly shifted.
Yeah.
FIU came out, they threw the first punch in the second half, but what a response by the Hilltoppers to even this season series. Yeah,
they did a great job. Coach Plona did a great job of making that adjustment. Anytime the ball got near the paint, after Salachim scored a couple times, hey, we're going to double no matter who's down there, and that really got them going and sort of threw the Panthers off their rhythm.
And now the stakes large for WKU. They're going to be back inside this arena on Saturday against Liberty. Louisiana Tech does in fact lose at home to New Mexico State. That seeding possibility still on the table for WKU. They get 20 tonight from McHenry, 19 from Christian Lander, and what a special second half he had.
Oh, he played great. It's good to see him. Like you mentioned, he had double-digit figures 6 times in a row going into the injury, comes back, and man, he really turned it on in that second half tonight.
WKU defense makes the difference. Who would have thought it after that first half? But it felt fitting, given what we thought this game would play out as. The second half was what we figured it would be, and it was the Hilltoppers that forced the turnovers, got out and ran, and that was the biggest thing for me, Dean, that stood out. The fast break points in this game, WKU wins that by a 7-point edge. They win the points off turnovers by 6. That's the kind of game they want to play.
Yeah, and the reason they won the transition and the points off turnovers is, we mentioned, I think, off the air, is the turnovers were live ball turnovers.
Yes.
So
FIU led tonight by 21 points from Vianney Salachim. We're certainly hoping that he's okay. They get 14 from their star scorer, Brewer, 11 from Gittins, and a career high, not to be overlooked, from Jaden Grant, all of them in the opening half. For my partner, Dean Cooper, our entire ESPN Plus crew, thank you for watching WKU back home on Saturday. Big matchup against Liberty. It tips at 2 o'clock, and you can catch it right here on ESPN Plus.